Patrick Morrisey and the Attorney General of West Virginia. On Sudafed,
yes,
Don Perdue has written to you about it.
Yes,
it should be put on prescription, correct?
We're taking a close look at the issue because we're going to always study everything thoroughly. That's the right way to do things. Within the next month or so, we're going to be coming out with an announcement in terms of our broad substance abuse plan. That's the right thing to do because you want to make sure you're looking at every angle of this issue from a supply and a demand perspective.
Have you looked at the question of the states of Oregon and Mississippi putting it on prescription? And apparently, from the stats I've seen, what happens is that the meth problem pretty much disappears.
So we are taking a look at that, and we've been asking a number of states for data because I think it's important that we eradicate this meth problem. It's a serious challenge facing the state. It's something I'm deeply concerned about. We're looking at all aspects of it. We're going to do this the right way, though, because we want to analyze this from a data perspective and a cost perspective, so we come out with an answer, it's the right answer.
Okay, now Perdue says that the problem is the industry, that about 50 to 75% of all Sudafed that's used goes towards meth production. Now, if that in fact is true, that it's just a question of what you're doing is standing up for the industry to save them a few $100 million.
Well, what I'm saying is we're taking a close look at the
When
issue.
are you going to decide?
Probably over the course of the next month or two. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to look at the facts. We're not going to do it through a political exercise. I think this has to be a fact-based research endeavor. The reality is that we've come in and we've established the first ever substance abuse task force out of the AG's office. It's one of the campaign planks I ran on. I take it very, very seriously. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to just look for quick fixes. I want to make sure that when we come out with recommendations, they're the right policy.
Okay, now if you decide that in fact it should go on prescription, you're going to decide that within a month whether it goes on, whether you're going to support that or not?
I'm not in charge of whether that happens or not. That would take an act of the legislature.
Would you support that?
Well, I'm taking a look at it.
If you made a decision that in fact those other states put it on prescription and it would solve the problem, would you support that?
Well, I'm taking a look at it because at the end of the day I want to know all the facts to make sure we do the right thing before we come out with an announcement. I'm open-minded to it, and I'm going to look at it to make sure that we get the cost data. I've asked a lot of the states and I've asked a lot of different entities about the cost data because I think that's a very important part of it. We have to get control of healthcare costs. But we also know that the explosion of meth labs is a healthcare cost, and that's a critical issue. So I want to look at all aspects of this so we can help West Virginians, and so that's what we're looking at.
One last thing, are you looking also at Oregon and Mississippi, which put it on prescription?
We are. We're actually looking at all states, and in fact, we're open-minded to take any data point that comes in. We want to do this the right way. We're open-minded on this issue. We're evaluating it very closely because at the end of the day, you have to just not stop one problem and create another. I know that the meth problem is one of the biggest challenges that West Virginia faces. We're going to work and we're going to address that.
What problem would it create if you put it on prescription?
Well, I'm saying that when we analyze an issue, we're going to make sure that when you come up with a solution, you're not creating others. I'm not going to go and talk about what the solutions are until about another month or so. Then we're going to come out and announce it, and thereafter we'll take any question on all these issues.
So November 1?
No, I'm saying that over the course of the next month, we're going to be developing a number of initiatives. We'll be announcing soon. We have a task force. They're starting to put recommendations before me.
Okay.
As that comes out, I'll announce it. I think this is the first time ever that the West Virginia AG's office is focusing on this issue, and I think it's a great thing.
Okay, so but are you going to make a decision on whether Sudafed should be on prescription or not?
I'm taking a look at that. Obviously, I don't.
Well, you say within a month, though. Are you going to decide that?
I'm saying that over the course of the next month, we should be fully educated on those issues, and then I'll determine whether that's part of the platform of announcements we're going to be coming out with in November and December. I think the key thing is there could be a package of initiatives relating to this prescription pill mess and the substance abuse mess that we should come and work on in the next legislative session. Okay. I think that's critical. So I anticipate we're going to be coming out with an announcement before the legislative session. I can't predict exactly what day. I want to make sure I talk to the right people in the legislature and others who want to be constructive to solve this problem.
And will this be, is there a chance that putting it on prescription might be one of the measures?
I said that I'm open-minded.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look at the issue. I think it's important that we do this the right way, because when you take action, you have to make sure that you're not adding unintended costs to the
But what
system.
are you talking about unintended cost? What would be the unintended cost to the system if you put it on prescription?
As I said, when I look at initiatives, I like to see analysis from an economic perspective to make sure that the cost of any change in the law is analyzed. One of the things that I think has to start happening in West Virginia is we have to begin better analyzing, when you make changes, what the financial impact is in terms of state revenues and ultimately regulatory cost. I plan to do that.
That's going to cost the industry a lot of money.
Well, sir, I'm willing to look at every issue, all aspects of it. I'm saying I'm open-minded about that, and open-minded means open-minded. I think you take a close look at all the issues, and we do what's right for West Virginia.
All right,
Thanks.
Thank you.